welcome to episode 30 of SOHO Insights.
For each week we talk about the latest products, services, and trends that help your small office, home office business be more productive, efficient, and fun.
Hello, I'm Kathy.
I'm Jen, and this episode 30, is on Seth Godin, who is an author, entrepreneur,
I like
and a person who starts things. That's what he says. So we went and saw him recently at an event, and that is one of the reasons why we chose him to be our featured individual of the month.
I would have featured him anyways.
Right. So, but I mean, he was on top of mind for this month, particularly for that reason.
And I have a picture of him.
And you have a picture of him?
With me.
Well, yeah, because we went and saw him. So anyway,
so there I am with Seth Godin.
So anyway, each month with SOHO Insights, we feature an individual who is influencing small office, home office businesses. The first one that we did officially was Oprah last month.
Officially, because she was leaving?
Yeah, again, top of mind.
Mm-hmm.
So the previous ones were Allie Brown, top of mind, because she was on
the Billionaire Show.
ABC show, and Mom watched it, and so of course we had to talk about her.
Yes.
And then
Groupon,
which
was in the news
is a company. Too. So anyway, that's what we're doing at the end of every month for SOHO Insights. Seth Godin is who we're talking about. We went and saw him in Seattle last week, and he was speaking at a theater. It was very cozy, lots of other entrepreneurs, but it was crazy because it was crazy when you looked around. And you met people. It wasn't just entrepreneurs that were there or marketers. It was people that there was homeschoolers. There were professionals.
Well,
you could connect with him on so many different levels.
The picture that we just showed had a line, and I talked to all those people. Of course, I go up and say, "Oh, who are you and what do you do?"
Mm-hmm.
And they all had books. See, we listened to them on Audible, but they all had like really
real books.
The real books. So I had to look at them too and examine them, and they all had them sign it. But it was such a room full of really great entrepreneurs or people that want to start things. So it was fun.
Yeah, starters.
A lot of energy.
So anyway, Mom got her picture taken with him, and that time she stood in a line, and it was something that was approved or appropriate for her to go up. Usually at events, Mom will like track people down that are supposedly unapproachable.
That I like.
And she won't do anything awful, but she definitely wants to meet people that she wants to meet, and she does it. So anyway, the first part of this episode, we'll be talking about some of the books that Ovaleye has read by Seth Godin and why we think you would also enjoy it as a small office. If you've read some of his other ones, we'd love to have your comments or your reviews of them. We're going to be working our way down the list, and I think the next one that we're going to be reading is The Dip.
The Dip.
But
we're rereading these again after listening to him talk.
So the books that we're going to be talking about is first Poke the Box, then Purple Cow, and then Tribes. And then we'll finish up with Mom's 5 takeaways from the event, which is something that we do as a company after every live event. We talk about what our takeaways were, and then we
implement them too.
Yeah, we put it into a 5 things to do, to start doing, 5 things to do less of, 5 things to do more of, which is something we read in Entrepreneur magazine a long time ago. So being consistent and taking action is something that we're trying to do here at Ovaleye. So we're trying to put our words into action. So anyway.
One of the things I should say before we go farther is that we're fighting colds and sinus infections and all that. So
we apologize. So the first book is Poke the Box, and this is his most recent one.
And what's funny is he told us in the live thing on Friday is he wanted that cover and nobody else did, and he got his way. And so he got that cover. I like the cover.
Yeah. No, I thought the whole book was absolutely fabulous. It was a shorter book, and it's something that if you're a mom, especially, and you don't have time to read books, what I do is something that we do as a team is listen to Audible. But if Kelly needs my baby, if he needs to go for a nap or something, I put him in the stroller and listen to it. This is a great book you can do that for because it's short enough that you can get a lot of it in while you're on the nap and the nap walk. Whatever you want to call it.
I like that.
Yeah, so Poke the Box.
I listen to it in the gym, and people look at me strange because I stand there and go, "Oh, should I write this down?"
Yeah, so he said he talks about failing and the greater risk being not to start.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's start.
Yeah, you have to be not afraid to fail.
Well, the thing I heard today, because I'm listening to it in the mornings, is that he listed a whole bunch of people that started, famous people, Oprah and, you know, astronauts, the sports people. And you realize that those people did start, but they also succeeded. So well, we'll get into.
Yeah, but he talked a lot about people that were like the Disney person or Pixar, I forget who it is that he was working on.
John Lasseter.
And he got started, and he created some kind of cartoon that his kids were afraid of. So that was just
John
one way of
Lasseter.
starting, that he mixed it up. He learned from his mistakes and was able to go and create something else based on what he learned. So he talked a lot about making mistakes and just putting things into action. And
well, you know, one of the things also that he talks about is that we're all artists and that we're creative. And I like that about him.
yeah, during the presentation, he talked a lot about that we're in a revolution,
I love that
and we
too.
have to be creating our own maps as artists. And that was one of my big takeaways,
Yes.
was that
The map.
you shouldn't be looking for other people. You shouldn't be looking for the map. Basically, you have to create your own map, because what one person's map is, what they're best at, they're already the best at that. You can't be the best at it. So I thought that was pretty interesting, just that whole concept of what you're supposed to be starting and where you're supposed to be going with that. So Poke the Box is a great book. Definitely recommend.
Take initiative and get going and read that book.
Yeah, start doing something.
Yes.
The second book is Purple Cow, which I haven't read in a while.
You know, I will say this is probably my favorite. Not, you know, I don't even remember all of it, but I like the concept. I want to be a purple cow.
It's a pretty simple concept,
Yes.
right? Just, what was the story? He was driving.
I love it. He was going through Europe, and they kept seeing cows. The whole family was just seeing fields of cows, 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 cows. And he thought, wouldn't it be cool if there was a purple cow in the field? So that's how it starts.
Yeah, so it's all about being remarkable, and that's definitely a word that's being passed around in our company a lot. I'm sorry.
Video, but we're going.
Sorry.
Being remarkable is a phrase we use all the time at OVALI too. How, you know, it just makes you get even more creative with your marketing and everything.
Right. So the last one is Tribes. And this is a book that, again, I haven't read in a while, but it was something very influential.
Because they're all short books. They're not real long. So
yeah.
The Tribe, if you Google Tribes, Seth Godin comes up.
Well, is that based on your cookies and what you've searched for in the past? Or?
It could be.
So anyway, I thought you were talking about how this book is more about leadership, or
it's not. You know, you think it's all about leadership, but it's the thought. No, it inspires you to lead your tribe. That's what it does.
Well, one of the questions that was asked at the event was, how do you connect a tribe that's international? Because a lot of businesses are starting to move on to the online space, especially communities, and they're bringing in international people. Because why not? You're talking about online. You can talk about different things that you have in common with people that are within the States and also within, you know, in Europe and the Middle East, wherever. So they're asking, how do you connect your tribe with people that have different international worldviews? They have different worldviews.
Oh yeah, that's another phrase that he used.
And so he said one of the reasons why NRA has been so successful as a group is because they all have the same exact worldview. And so members are able to get along very well within that tribe, and the tribe's able to do things and move ahead because of that reason. So that's a really important thing, to make sure that everyone has the same
But
worldview.
it doesn't matter what size the tribe is either.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on.
Beyond his books, he has a blog, and we'll have
all that on ovali.tv, but the blog I read all the time.
Yeah, so we'll have all the information over there if you don't read it already. So looking at it, looking at these 5 things that Mom was saying, her first one is that, takeaway from this event, was that we can start a revolution. Anyone can start a revolution.
Well, and he says it in most of his books, but we came out with some of the things that would start a revolution in our industry.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I want to read all of them. Are we reading them? No.
But try and think of solving a problem in a different way, being creative, being innovative.
I would say that's the number one, revolution. It was mentioned many times last week, but also it can create a big buzz.
Yeah, so the second point is be on the edge of the box, not inside or outside. Be on the edge.
We've always said, let's be outside the box. Listen, outside the box. And there was another phrase too. I'd always say failure is not an option. Well, it is an option. So, but thinking outside the box, thinking
on the edge of the box is the sweet spot of your marketing, I guess. He said if you're inside the box, then it's dark in there. You don't want to be out there. That's what I remember. It's funny. So the third point is when it feels scary, you should do it. That was one of the things that he said. He checks his barometer if he feels like he shouldn't do it.
The minute
he does it.
Yeah, and look at us. We're doing this insight every week, and would I have done this before? No, not at all. So that inner thing said, what the heck are you doing? And I love it. I absolutely love the show.
Yeah. So the fourth point is to tell a story, and that was a common thing within his presentation, also within questions, the answers that he had for the questions that were asked. And it was all about interrupting or interruptive marketing, and it's a common theme within Seth Godin books is how you're supposed to have more of a relationship marketing.
Well,
and
the revolution is now you have to tell a story about yourself, or why would people come to you?
Yeah, you said telling stories. The revolution is all about gimmicks, doing something more that's more impressive, more innovative, that gets people's attention greater than being interruptive.
Yes.
So one of the things that we've been talking about in our company is how can we reach the masses? How can we reach people in these small towns? We're doing the virtual road trip where we visit 50 states.
Visit ovali.tv or no, ovali.com.
Ovali.com, yeah, it's on our blog.
Our blogs.
So when we're visiting these 50 states, we're really just kind of checking out what's happening within small businesses, doing market research, meeting new people, and figuring out how we can expand into all 50 states, because we can as a web host, we want to, and that's kind of a marker for our success.
Well, we talk to as many people as we possibly can about how we can do that.
So, one of the things that we were talking about is how can we do this? How can we reach 50 states without putting the money up for a Super Bowl ad? Because that's how our competitors have done it. It's interruptive. Yeah. You know, you've got this hot babe getting out of a car, and that's the whole it interrupts a room. You have to look at it, and then you remember 2 years down where to buy your domain name from. So we're trying to figure out how to do that, not only because it's, you know, not good marketing with interruptive, but also because we don't have that kind of budget.
Well, I still think that my little grandson should be our spokesmodel and not the hot babes. Okay.
Yeah. So the fifth point is down. You said don't be in a price war, basically.
Yes. Being in that down. He led an He set an example about the Walmart situation where people are bidding to be in Walmart and those small businesses, and that might not always work to be the lowest bidder, because how are you going? There's no margins, so you don't want to be the lowest bidder. You don't want to price. You don't want to compete with the bigger companies. Like, we're a smaller company, we wouldn't want to we wouldn't want to have the same price points as them.
So the last point that those were the 5 takeaways that Mom had. The last thing I thought you should mention is that you got a book on Audible of CD Baby.
Well, because of course I read Seth blogs this today, and he recommended CD Baby, Derek Sivers, which I always thought it was Silvers, but oh well. I have been following him. He said he started in 97, and in 98, I managed a rock band in Seattle, and we put the first album we ever created on CD Baby. And for a while, I think up until a year ago, I was getting like $20 from Derek Sivers, and he'd do a nice little email too. I mean, he's just read his book. It'll be on ovali.tv too, because I think he poked the box. I think he did all of these things we're talking about, and he did it well. Plus, it's like 10 minutes worth of a book. It's really short, so.
But it was good.
Very good. From the beginning, it was really good.
Yeah.
So this is Kathy and Jen. Excuse the cough tonight.
I'm sorry.
But we couldn't wait to tell you all about Seth Godin and how you can be remarkable. So until next week, this is SOHO Insights.
My orange juice.
Thank you.